Sitcoms are a slippery comedy TV genre, and perhaps the hardest to pitch to networks and streamers, but a good idea is lightning in a bottle and, ideally, renewal material. The hugely successful It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, for example, has been going for 16 seasons with a 17th It's Always Sunny season on the way. The combination of brilliant writing and cast dynamics, along with a deceptively simple premise, seem to be the key ingredients to sitcom success, yet some sitcoms that tick all those boxes remain underrated. From British comedies that deserve more visibility to unconventional US gems, the following 8 TV shows do not have nearly enough viewership. For every Friends, or sitcoms that tried to be Friends, and Parks and Recreation that achieved legendary status, there are countless other brilliant comedy masterpieces that fly under the radar, basking in critical acclaim but never quite reaching the widespread recognition they deserve. 8. Third Rock from the Sun. This sci-fi sitcom has aged surprisingly well. Third Rock from the Sun is an all-too-often underrated 90s sitcom. Its premise is simple, and even a little corny. A group of aliens have taken human form and are trying to assimilate into society. The execution, however, is marvelous and delivers surprisingly sharp comedy. John Lithgow stars as Dick Solomon, the High Commander. He chooses the form of the patriarch of the family, but his daily attempts at performing a traditionally masculine role in his physics professor job and his romantic and family life make for so many great gags. His sister, Sally, is a performance highlight by Kristen Johnston. Viewers are also treated to a breakout role in the family youngest, Tommy, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The inimitable French Stewart plays Harry, who functions as the transmitter between the crew and their overlord, the big giant head. Don't be fooled by its cheesy appearance. Third Rock is barely talked about, but it's unmissable. A core memory for viewers who had the DVD box sets was an off-the-wall double episode that takes place in each character's dreams, filmed for watching with 3D glasses. 7. Nighty Night. Julia Davis is deliciously awful in this genuinely shocking comedy. Even within the UK, barely anyone talks about the British sitcom Nighty Night, but it deserves more recognition. Julia Davis, who you might recognise from the infinitely more popular British staple Gavin and Stacey, stars as the series' antagonist, Jill Tyrell. Jill casts herself as a widow and starts actively dating when her husband is diagnosed with cancer, the premise alone making it one of the darkest sitcoms ever made. Davis excels at playing a truly revolting character in this series that is every bit as funny as more popular British black comedies like Black Books and the brilliant 100% RT-rated Fleabag. Expect to cover your mouth in horror at her antics while she tries to win over her neighbor's husband while, in a sick way, somehow rooting for her to achieve her goal for the sheer chaos. It's almost criminal how underrated she is as a comedy great. She's also in good company on the show. Her Gavin and Stacey co-star Ruth Jones plays her personal assistant, among an impressive cast including Rebecca Front, Angus Deaton, Kevin Eldon, and Mark Gatiss. If you love comedies about awful people like Absolutely Fabulous and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you won't regret giving this a try. 6. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Dark Place is pulp perfection. Richard Ayoade in Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is another amazing Britcom featuring actors you will have surely seen in something else. Richard Ayoade, Matt Berry, and Matthew Holness star in the classic British horror comedy, with occasional guest appearances from the Mighty Boosh's Julian Barrett and Noel Fielding. The show is a spoof of hospital dramas and horror, with footage from the hilariously bad show along with mockumentary-style behind-the-scenes interviews. Highlights include an illness that turns people into broccoli and a mysterious mist that conjures Scottish people who insist on having their shortbread salted. It's the attention to detail on making the show deliberately bad that makes Dark Place so beautiful, from out-of-sync typing sounds to very visible puppet wires. It has the kind of charm the Mighty Boosh started to lose after season 1. Don't miss the opportunity to watch this ingenious sitcom that you will almost certainly be quoting. 5. Superstore. Retail Workers of the World Unite. Superstore is becoming recognized more recently as a great sitcom, but it's still worth mentioning as a relatively underrated show. Rather than revolving around characters who love their jobs, Superstore is about retail workers who deal with all the usual drudgery that is part and parcel with the sector. This makes its premise more comparable to the depressing fluorescence of The Office, UK, than more glossy American sitcoms. Its unglamorous setting might seem boring, but that's exactly what makes its writing so creative. The characters working at Cloud9 Superstore are ordinary people with real problems. Alongside America Ferrera, Ben Feldman stars as Jonah, which will be music to the ears of those who mourn the exit of one of Mad Men's best characters, Ginsburg. Expect to cringe at some of the show's brilliant one-liners, like the out-of-touch Glenn's "She's married to a woman, so watch how casually I bring up Xena Warrior Princess" when discussing a supplier. The bizarre customer cutaways are another highlight. 4. The John Larroquette Show. The sitcom that made wisecracks about its own flop. The John Larroquette Show cast. The John Larroquette Show stands as a truly underrated gem in the landscape of 90s sitcoms, deserving far more recognition than it typically receives. While many shows from the era opted for predictable, saccharine humor, the John Larroquette Show dared to delve into darker, more nuanced comedic territory, quickly established by its opening scene at an AA meeting. It tackled adult themes with a sharp wit and a surprisingly progressive outlook for its time, often exploring the struggles of its characters with alcoholism, homelessness, and existential ennui, all while maintaining a comedic edge. For viewers seeking a sitcom that broke the mold, the John Larroquette Show was a palate cleanser. Its ensemble cast delivered consistently strong performances. Beyond the smart writing and character development, fans should also keep an ear out for a particularly memorable meta ad-lib by Alison LaPlaca commenting on the sitcom's lack of success, along with a faux guest appearance from none other than Frasier Crane. This often overlooked show warrants a rewatch or a first-time viewing. 3. Happy Endings. The other show about 6 friends. For those seeking a change from Central Perk and the apartments upstairs, there is a less popular hangout ensemble sitcom about 6 friends readily available. The Guardian has described Happy Endings as sitcom bridesmaid but never really the sitcom bride, highlighting the lack of appreciation for this genuinely funny series. While the characters in the show are inevitably comparable to its hugely popular counterpart Friends, the style of comedy is different, not least because of the lack of laugh track. Happy Endings remains a frequently overlooked and unjustly cancelled sitcom, a victim of both unfortunate timing and network